Hi friends! Welcome to today's demo. So this week for demo, I wanted to talk a little bit about double-sided tape. So double-sided tape, many of you are probably familiar with the Scotch brand of double-sided tape, where you peel it off and then it's really extremely sticky and you lay it on and it's like kind of folded up and kind of awkward. It's my least favorite double-sided tape out there. This is my favorite. So this tape is so amazing because it comes in all sorts of different widths. So starting with the 1/8 of an inch, which is super, super skinny, 1/4 inch, 3/8 inch, 1/2 inch, 1 inch, all the way up to the 2 inch wide. So you can really get the tape that you need to really make the most sense for your project. So I wanted to just educate you on that. And what's really cool about this tape is that it is extremely strong. So you really don't need to worry about things falling apart over time. It's going to be very tacky for a very, very long time. I don't think I've actually ever seen any of this lose its tackiness, which is pretty incredible. But the other thing is that you can even rip it or you can cut it. So if you need to like easily rip it as you're pulling it off and sticking it on your card, it's very easy to do with this tape, okay? So now that you know about the world of double-sided tape, there is so much to love and to learn. I am just so excited to share with you. All right, so the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to be using 3 different widths of the tape today because these are ones that I just use all the time. And I'm going to show you just how amazing versatile these are. So I'm going to use my 2 inch, my 1/8 inch, and my 1/4 inch, okay? So I wanted to create kind of a cool plaid looking background here. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and just stick on my double-sided tape, and I'm keeping it's right here, I'm kind of keeping it straight with the top and the edge of my card. So it's perpendicular with the edge, but straight parallel with the top of the card there. I'm just going to rip it on the side there. Because I'm kind of doing a plaid kind of a look, I know it's not going to be perfect, but it doesn't need, that's kind of the part with plaid, is that it doesn't really need to be perfect as long as you kind of stick with that kind of style where it's the thin lines and thicker lines. So I'm going to do all the ones in this direction first, and then I'm going to go and do the other ones in all the other directions. If you're ever trying to figure out how to get where to find the tape, I usually just run my finger along the edge until it catches, and then that's a great way to kind of find where that tape edge is. Or you can always, fold it over so that way you can always find it. But of course, I don't ever want to waste my tape, so I always want to just catch the edge of my fingertip, or my fingernail rather. Okay. I did this on the brown background here so that you can kind of see how I'm laying this out. So I have 1/8 inch, 1/4, I have some space, another 1/8 inch, a larger space, then I have a 1/4 inch, 1/4 inch, and another 1/8. And I'm going to add in one more 1/8 inch right here along this edge, like so. Okay. Now I need a thicker line, so I'm actually going to use my 2 inch, and I'm not going to lay that down quite yet. I am going to do that, but not quite yet. Okay. Now I'm going to take my scissors. Oh, let me grab my scissors. At least I'm here at the store, I can just run and grab those. Whenever I'm trying to trim off something, I always look down on it like this, so then that way I can quickly just go through and just trim those off. And those edges there. Garbage for a garbage can, if I can figure out where my garbage can went. A little one. I usually have a little desk garbage, but I lost one that I usually use. Alright, and then we're going to go this way. Okay. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and just peel these off. And again, I usually just kind of catch the edge with my finger there. Kind of peel off that top film. Oh, and I'm just now realizing that that did not stick all the way, so I'm just going to peel that whole one off there. So I don't want a folded edge on that. Alright. Now, again, because I want to go with the plaid kind of a style, I need some thicker lines. So I'm going to actually add in my 2 inch wide. I don't want to waste this, so I'm just going to stick it directly on and then flip this over and just trim that right off. Okay. And then I'm also going to go over here and add in some more 1/8 inch strips and some more 1/4 inch strips. Trying to create the thing that kind of looks like plaid. Alright, and some 1/4 inch. And another sponge here. All right, and I'm just going to go ahead and finish trimming that off. And those little excess little pieces there that are sticking off the edge. Okay. All right, so now we can peel off all the rest of our tape, and then we get to add in the fun stuff. So you can put in on, now when you do this part, I'm going to use embossing powder, but you can also buff in glitter, or you can buff in some mica powder. Anything that's kind of shimmery, that's kind of a fine powder like that for doing art with, you could certainly adhere to the double-sided tape, because it will stick, a bunch of different products will stick to the double-sided tape. Okay, so there is what we have at the moment. Okay, it's all double-sided tape, so it's all sticky. Okay, so I'm going to get out my embossing tray here. This is a little embossing tray I made, so in case you're like, wait, where do I get that? You're just going to have to grab a box and find one that works well for you. So I'm going to do some multicolor embossing, which is really similar to what we did for the last demo. I wanted to actually work with some colors that were kind of in this kind of brown color tone here. So I'm actually going to start with the white. Again, I want to do kind of some multicolor embossing here. Already, oh my gosh, I am just loving that. I'm going to add this in some other areas where it didn't quite stick. All right, I'm going to pour the excess of this out back into the container so I can save it for later. Sorry, I know you guys are just looking at a box. I'm just pouring my embossing powder back in my container here. So then that way I can use it and save it for later. The next color I'm going to do is this beautiful moonstone color, which I just love. And whenever you're doing multicolor embossing, and I almost messed up here, you want to make sure that you go off in the same direction that there's already embossing powder on, so then that way you don't accidentally get embossing powder on the areas where you're not wanting the embossing powder on quite yet. Last color we're going to do, so the first color I did was the detail white, the second color I did was the moonstone, and the last color I'm going to do, who's going to do the detail gold? Hold on, gotta grab my gold embossing powder. Alright, and I'm going to do the gold embossing powder. So that way we get all the colors. So the most important thing I wanted to share with you about the multicolor embossing is that, one, you get all the colors that kind of go across, but two, the embossing powder sticks to the double-sided tape, but the double-sided tape is heat resistant. So as you, or up to a high temperature at least, so as you're laying down or doing your heat embossing, it's not going to harm your double-sided tape. Okay? So that was mostly the most important part of that. Okay, so now we're going to do some heat embossing. Here we go, and watch it melt. I love the effect that this has. You see it starting to melt there? So as we do heat embossing, we're just slowly moving the heat gun across the page very slowly, so that way it has opportunity to heat all of the embossing powder in place. Oh, I just love how that looks with the gold, the moonstone. Oh my gosh, beautiful. I kind of like that the other lines from the other tapes are kind of showing through the white embossing. It kind of just adds, you know, more dimension, more interest to that. Oh, so fun. Oh my gosh, I love how this is turning out. And that nice contrast with the dark brown and the white and the two different shades of the gold, because the moonstone and then the gold embossing powder together. Oh, beautiful. Oh, I'm in love. All right, so there we have our multicolor embossing powder on double-sided tape. Isn't that so cool, you guys? Oh my gosh. And then here you could do a little strip with a fun little sentiment, probably also stamped in gold. So, so fun. Oh my gosh, I just love that. Love, 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 love. And it just feels really cool too. Very neat. Okay, on to the next idea. So, the next thing I wanted to share with you is that if you have, I need to wipe this off really fast. Everywhere. The embossing powder, I can feel it on my surface here. There we go. Okay. So the next thing you can do with your 2-inch wide double-sided tape here is that you can actually peel and stick it. I'm going to grab my craft mat. So you can actually peel and stick this, and I'm actually going to put this directly here on my craft mat. This is going to be a little bit easier here for doing this next step. So I'm going to cut a little piece here, and then I'm actually going to be sticking double-sided tape on it. So I actually am going to be creating like a square. So my idea here is that I wanted to create kind of like a 4x4 square. So because I know that this is 2-inch wide, I'm going to do 2 strips of 2-inch wide one way and 2 strips of 2-inch wide the other way. So this is sticky already. I'm actually going to stick this on here on the top. So now in this section I have it sticky. It's not sticky here and here, but sticky there and sticky there. I'm going to put another strip here and another strip there. Okay. Again, this is making it so that I can actually cut something out and have it be like a sticker on both sides. All right, I'm matching up the edges there, so then that's nice and clean. And then now here, I use my craft mat here, so then that way my double-sided tape is not sticking to my countertop and getting all over the place. The craft mat is perfect for this. Okay, I'm gonna stick that right here. And then I'm actually gonna cut off any sticky excess that might be sticking out, so then that way I have a true square that is double-sided all the way around. I'm just trimming off the pieces here that are just a single layer of double-sided. Okay, there we have that. All right. So now we have piece square. It's about 4x4 inches. It's 2 strips of 2-inch double-sided tape this way, and 2 strips of 2-inch double-sided tape this way and this way. Okay, so that's how we've done that. All right, now let's run it through a die cut machine. So this is a die cut machine for those of you that don't know. It kind of looks like a pasta maker. I know it's kind of weird and it looks a little funky. There are layering plates here, so this plate we're going to be cutting into. So how a die cut machine works is that there are layering plates. What you do is you find a die cut shape. In this case, we're going to use one of my favorite ones. This is butterfly. Can you get the whole butterfly on there? Almost. So we're actually going to cut this out. I'm just going to get the best I can there. It's going to be almost perfect. Almost. All right. So you have one of these plates is a layering, goes on the top, and one piece of the cutting plates is going to go along the bottom. Okay. So as you roll it through the die cut machine, I'm just going to roll back and forth. I'm sorry, I know that the camera is wiggling. I apologize. I'm just doing this a few times to make sure that it fully cuts all the way through. All right, and it did. So we're going to pull off the excess. You can use that for something else, future project. So now what we have here is we have this die that I've cut the butterfly die cut out of, and it is now out of a piece of 2-inch double-sided tape. Oh, where's my tool? I'm going to use, weirdly enough, dental tools, and that will help me poke out this shape here. I just want the main butterfly shape. So we're just going to pull that up. There we are. And you poke out those little excess little pieces there, and our butterfly will become revealed to us. Again, I oftentimes will use dental tools to kind of poke these little pieces out here. Oh, and there are quite a few of them. So we just gotta take our time. Of course, I'm the kind of person, I'm like, no, quick! Immediate satisfaction! Yeah, that's the kind of person I am. Now you know. Now you know. Alright. Poke those things through. And these guys here. Alright, I'm not going to poke through all of them because that's a lot of tiny little holes to poke out. But the most important part is that we're keeping the film on both the back and the front, and we're poking out all those tiny little holes. Okay? Alright. That's as much as I'm going to do for right now. I'm not going to get in all the little intricate areas because, oh my goodness, that's going to be time consuming. Okay. Put that to the side for a moment. All right, so now we have our little film here. So what we're going to do actually is I'm going to put this on a piece of acetate. Acetate just means a piece of clear film, and this is thin acetate, which is going to work great for this project. I'm going to bring my craft mat back here so you can actually see what I'm doing. Okay, so on the piece of acetate here, again onto that clear film, we're actually going to peel and stick it and put it right on the front. I'm just going to tuck this piece of green behind it so you can actually see what I'm doing. So what I'm going to be doing here is I'm actually peeling off one side. So as I peel this apart, I'm feeling, oh, there's one side that's not sticky and one side that is sticky. So I'm peeling off the non-sticky side because we did 2-inch strips. There's a top section and a bottom section of the double-sided tape that you're going to need to peel off, which is nice because it will kind of give you a break to peel that off, but just make sure you don't miss any sections that have double-sided tape on them. And then we're going to go ahead and stick that directly onto our acetate. I recommend working from the left to the right, so then that way you don't accidentally, whoops, a little antennae there. So then that way you don't accidentally get a bubble in your image there. And then we're going to peel that across and go all the way across there. And then we're going to remove that top film. Okay. And I'm seeing there's a couple areas where that is still there. I'm going to just pull that away. You can use your dental tools to pull those pieces out. I'm not too worried about it. Alright, so all of that is sticky, but it's sticky, and then you can then put something on it, and you can even, oh gosh, I just love how that looks. I love it so much. So at this point, I don't recommend using your embossing powder because embossing powder is going to want to stick to the acetate as well, which can be exceptionally annoying. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm actually going to use glitter. So I'm just going to lay down some glitter, and I'm going to use my finger to buff in the glitter into all of those super intricate areas of that die cut. Okay, so now the glitter is actually sticking to the double-sided tape only. And now I'm going to put the excess back into the container here. Kind of flick the surface a little bit to remove any excess glitter that might be stuck to that. And there we have it. And I'm going to show you what it looks like on the dark green. What I love about this is that it shows up beautifully on dark paper. Oh my gosh. Or you can even do a die cut and have this kind of looking through from like a window or something. There is so much you can do with that. Oh my gosh. I just love that. And look what it looks like on the black. Oh, I just love that iridescent ribbon, or iridescent glitter, not ribbon, because the iridescent glitter picks up whatever color you're putting it next to, which is just so, so cool. Love that. Love, 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 love. Okay, let's go to the next idea. So the other thing that you can do is, with that same concept of doing the die cuts, whoops, a butterfly die cut in here, so clean that out later. Okay. So you can also take little star die cuts. Oops. And again, here's some of your 2-inch ribbon. We actually have some excess from earlier that we're going to use again. This was the double-sided tape that was left over, or the double-sided little strips that were left over from the butterfly. And I want to lay on some little stars. Die cut some little stars, so then my stars can be fun. Okay, so I'm going to pull my layers out here, put these on here, lay my little star die cuts in place. Oh, we're going to do some of these little guys and this little guy. Okay, and we can lay the layering down, and we'll roll that through. And then we've created little tiny stars that again are double-sided on both sides. So pop those little stars out. Just back in my packaging here. Okay. All right, so now this little piece of paper here, this black piece of paper, I'm just going to go ahead and peel off the back side of the film there, stick on the sticky side. Right there. Oops. And this guy here. And this guy here. Okay, and then we'll peel off the front. All right, and then we can do different colors of embossing powder. Okay. And again, you want to save your excess embossing powder and just tuck that right back into the container. And then you have these beautiful stars that then we're going to heat emboss. Oh, this is the garnet embossing powder. It's so beautiful. It's like this really gorgeous pearlescent burgundy kind of color. Just love it. And what I love so much about this is that then your embossing powder sticks to it, but it doesn't stick to the paper. So then your die cut shape can then be embossed, which I just love. So, so cool. Okay. All right, now I'm gonna get out a stamp. So hold on, bear with me, my friends. I'll be right back. I have to go grab a stamp so I can show you this other really cool technique. It's just like being in a live demo, you guys. You have to wait for me. Hilarious. Okay, so I'm actually going to stamp. This is VersaFine Clear ink. I'm going to stamp here and stamp my middle of my paper. So this ink is going to be totally waterproof when it's dry, which is really cool. But you could do some coloring and different things like that. Actually, I think I am going to do some coloring. No, I'm not going to do any coloring. I'm not going to do any coloring, but I am going to show you this technique. So once you have your little image down here, and I'm realizing it's not quite straight, but that's okay. I'm going to lay down some double-sided tape here along this entire image here, and I want that to kind of be straight on my image. I know it's not going to be straight on the paper, but I stamp my image a little crooked. That's okay. So I'm going to open that up. I'm going to trim off this excess here on the sides. Oh, my scissors have double-sided tape all over them. To clean those. Oh, do you guys ever have that issue where you have gunk on your scissors and they're super sticky? You can use rubbing alcohol to remove it. Just so you guys knew, I was cleaning some sticky off some stuff earlier and I was like, oh, this works great. And it's quick and easy. Comes right off. Okay, so I have my double-sided tape I put on top of my stamped image, okay? So now I'm going to pull this away. And as I peel it away, the double-sided tape is clear, okay? So you can actually see your image through that. All right, now you're gonna take your glitter and we're just gonna buff it right into the whole thing. And now we have our image, but it is behind this amazing glittery piece. Isn't that so cool? So you could even do your colors and watercolors, and then when you're all done, put that iridescent double-sided tape on, well, the double-sided tape, and then buff in your iridescent glitter, and then you get that really cool, beautiful look. So you could even do a whole Christmassy card and put that on the top, buff in your glitter, and then it immediately adds this magical element. Isn't that so cool? Oh, I don't know if you guys can even see how amazing that is, but it's very, very magical. All right, you guys, that is all of my ideas today for using double-sided tape. So many amazing ideas. I don't know if you are sold on the 2-inch double-sided tape, but honestly, this is just a really good double-sided tape. You can cut it to any size that you need, but also you can do so much more with it. Make your own stickers, make your own ideas using your die cuts. It's also extremely glittery, so if you have like, or extremely tacky is what I meant to say. So if you're wanting to, those techniques where you put the double-sided tape on the pen and then roll it through beads and things, that would also work for this. So lots and lots of cool ideas. Anyways, thanks for coming to demo today, you guys. Have a fun day. I'll see you later.